Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash, that belongs to the elders of GMS who were well. Peace and salutations and Shalom. This is going to, go on to basically the black coon, black female coon. Now, when you hear the word coon, 99.9% of the time it's referring to behavior that, a so-called black man is displaying. But what about the Israelites NB coon? And, this is, it ain't the worst of the worst, but it's still, bad nonetheless. And it's just pathetic, because how much do you expect to, see on, YouTube? But here it goes.
This match has been licensed and remastered by Title Match Network. And don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube.
Now, mind you, her name is Black Thunder or Chocolate Thunder.
This match has been licensed and remastered by Title Match Network. And don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube for new releases every day.
Like the sad part about this is that because wrestling goes off of stereotypes, they try to, and also it's entertainment, so it's satire. So they try to do their best to perpetuate every negative stereotype that they can. You remember Yokozuna was Japanese, so they had to cast him as, well, he wasn't Japanese, he actually was Japhetic, but he could pass as Japanese. So they cast him as big fat, sumo wrestler. He fit that stereotype. Tatanka, he was, if I remember correctly, I believe he actually was Native American. So they cast him as, a Native American, actually in his tribal, customs. So they don't just, they're not going to have like a regular guy. They want, with stereotypes. And this goes to show the stereotype that they that fits black women. Just start twerking. Now, God, I haven't even watched this whole video, but I just literally probably seen about as far as I've actually played. Ain't no telling what else will be in the video. I don't know. Maybe she pull out a bucket of KFC and hit her opponent upside the head with a watermelon. I don't know, but it's basically a minstrel segment of this show, and this is part of the curses. Because Scripture says we will become a byword. This is Deuteronomy 28:37 says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment." And that's what they want to do in that segment. It's an astonishment. Just look at them. Just watch them. And as you can see, her opponent, she said, "This is who I got. This is my opponent. This is who I got to wrestle." She was astonished. Reading on, a proverb and a byword among all nations, with Yahweh shall lead thee. And that's actually, just helping, fulfilling prophecy right there. She's basically what she is like. And actually another thing about, if you see about pro wrestlers, when they are black women and they overweight like that, 1 second, they always cast them as, this big giant, woolly mammoth, behemoth type MB. Wrestling is very, fucking racist prejudice. always showing Jake in a bad light. We're going to get into Kamala pretty soon, but I want to play a little bit of this.
Impact Plus. Experience Impact Wrestling like never before. Residing in Tokyo, Japan, she stands 6 feet 1 inches tall and weighs 272 and 48 pounds. Amazing! Holy! Oh my God! That's one large woman. Can you imagine? What did we just hear? 6'1", 272 and 3/8 pounds? Wow. Just put it TNA management when they announced the women's gauntlet. Told us there will be 5 established TNA knockouts joined by 5 newcomers. But believe it or not, this is only one of the 5.
She basically supposed to be a 21st century. Just look at that. She's supposed to be basically a 21st century, Aunt Jemima. Aunt Jemima off of Sarah Battles and got a promotion. She done got a wrestling gig.
Mike, as you looked into the face of the amazing car, what amazed me is I was picking my toe up off the ground, but looking at the expression of all of the other participants in that golden New Women's Champion. Every one of them, and you see,
Showing her just being super fucking strong. And that was, the role of basically the mammy into slavery.
Mammies in The Birth of a Nation are strictly caricatures because they are portrayed through blackface. Due to blackface, white actors had free range to portray blacks in the way they saw fit. With that, the actors exaggerate characters for the benefit of KKK propaganda. And that, my friend, is how a caricature is born. Her movements, her body, and even her dialogue is over the top. It is important to note that the Mammy character was a mythical character created by Southern whites who wanted to portray a romanticized version of the Old South. The Birth of a Nation has good examples of this caricature, but it does not explicitly go over the physical markers of the mammy. Mammies typically have big breasts, big hips, they're dark-skinned, they have white teeth, and we know that because they're always smiling, and until recently, you never see them without a headscarf. Her jaw-locking smile represents her always happy to serve attitude. Her weight and her clothing express that she's never neglected by her master. Therefore, her loyalty pays off. Hattie McDaniel won an Oscar for her performance as a mammy in Gone with the Wind.
Mommy, here's Miss Scarlett's pickle. You give it all?
The mammy represents devotion to the white family, specifically maternal devotion to white children.
I'm not. Put on the bread, because we're late already.
what's the lamb going away?
There. No, you ain't. You can't.
Like Aibileen from The Help, she's attached to a white child.
Speak to your mama.
This attachment adds another layer of compliance and devotion.
Bye.
Well,
Keep the shawl on your shoulder. I ain't even free to get all freckled.
McDaniel's character does not smile much, but she's more than obedient. Her aggression stems from her need to protect her white family.
Oh, now, Miss Scarlett, you come on and be good and eat just a little. No. I'm going to have a good time today.
This scene not only shows Mammy's loyalty, but her attachment to Scarlett. She does not seem to have any children of her own to take care of. If she does, their lack of presence shows her lack of concern for them.
Yes, you will, Toby.
that's pretty much enough of that. She basically was saying a lot of stuff that I could have said. Didn't want to trip over my words. She did a pretty good job of saying it, so let the video speak. But that's your modern day 21st century mammy right there. She's basically helping, working for, a white owned company, which most all of us do anyways. But she's helping to perpetuate this negative image. Old girl just twerking. It goes to show that she doesn't have control of her image. Some WWE wrestlers and stuff like that, they have control of their images. You don't watch, Stone Cold Steve Austin transition from some nobody in WCW to, this beer drinking, truck driving, I want to cuss out my boss and beat, because everybody want to cuss their boss out and beat him up. And that became the role that he became. He embodied that. The rattlesnake. And it goes to show that the MB, the black woman, she has very, very limited roles that she can have, especially when she's big like that. They want to see you take on that, basically the mammy role. Now, it was a 21st century man because you didn't see her, come through, souping up white babies and stuff like that. But it goes to show that, well, this is basically what the mammy has evolved to, because now there's no more working on the plantation directly in the household of your employer. Now mammy is actually outside. She's in the field now. So now the mammy's in the field. She's no longer living within the house. She's actually, you get to actually see more of her, because we as humans, we're a product of our environment and we're a product of our experiences. So now she may not be having the exact same experiences as the 20th century MB, but the 21st century MB, she sure is, definitely a product of her environment, product of her experiences. And she feels like the only way to get into society is, to acquiesce to, white society by doing what they want to do, is perpetuating the negative image. Now, this, again, like I said, this is part of that astonishment and a byword and a proverb that we've become. And now, even if you take it a step farther, if you look at the MBs outside, the so-called black woman outside of wrestling, a lot of them wear this headscarf. They ain't wearing dresses no more. But a lot of them, have this, because what they did is in slavery is they put the woman over the man. So a lot of them had that attitude where they feel like they're above their man. They're above black men. They feel like they're more valuable because that's what the scripture does say. Most High created a new thing that the woman shall surpass the man. And that's what Esau has done. Because if you know you can destroy, if you can get the woman, goes back to the garden days. If you can, beguile a woman, then the woman will beguile the man. And they do a good job of that. That's why you rarely hear a woman being called a coon. You will rarely hear, most of the time it's referred to a man when you hear the word coon. And basically in that lesson, on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, double honors to Elder GMS, peace and salutations, Shalom.